Have you ever wondered why there are great sorrows and tragedies in life, even when we stay close to God and live by holding on to goodness? This is a doubt of many. Those who cling to goodness are always in the grip of poverty and suffering. However, those who live in the way of evil enjoy wealth and comfort by wrong means and corruption. They earn a lot of money and spend it without sharing it with the poor, yet they enjoy life. Why is this happening in this way? Have you ever asked God, why you are giving me these sorrows even though I am so attached to you? If yes, then this video is for you. Living in a world of sorrows, there is only one way to find the strength to move forward. In this video, we will explain how believers living in tears and poverty overcome the crisis in their lives.
आश्लिष्य वा पादरतां पिनष्टुमा
I surrender myself to your will. You may test me in any way you wish, but I will not let go of holding onto your feet. This is the beautiful lyrics from the poem Sikshashtaka by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. By surrendering ourselves to God, we can find peace and solace in the midst of our sorrows and difficulties. There is no other way. Let God do what He wish. A story often recounted by Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa will help us to illustrate this point. Once during their exile, Lord Rama and Lakshmana reached the banks of the river Pampa. Before going down to bathe, Rama stuck his bow in the ground by the river. When he came back from his bath and took off his bow, he saw blood on the end of it. Lord Rama realized that he had unknowingly hurt some living being. When Lakshmana looked at the soil, he realized that there was a frog under the bow. Upon realizing that an innocent frog was going to die, Lord Rama asked the frog,
"Why didn't you cry when my bow was on your body? Don't you always cry when you see a snake? Why didn't you cry like that?"
Hearing the words of the Lord, the frog replied with extreme devotion,
"When I see a snake, I cry and pray to God for help. But if the same God hurts me, I don't know who to ask for help. Then there's no reason to cry."
This answer of the frog contains a great example of life. What we should do is to believe like a frog that everything that happens in the life of a believer is according to God's will. Do not change this belief whether it brings you joy or sorrow. If it is God who gives us sorrows, then to whom do we complain? From the life of Jesus Christ, another good example can be told. The night before he died on the cross. After eating the Passover with the disciples, Jesus went to the Garden of Gethsemane and began to pray in solitude. Jesus, the Son of God, knew exactly what was going to happen in his life. Aware about the pains he was about to endure, Jesus, who was also half human, prayed to God.
"Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. But not my will, but your will be done."
There is no better mantra to recite in the crisis phase of our life. When we say, "Not my will, but your will," we are surrendering our lives completely to God. "Do to me whatever you want," is our prayer to God. Not our will, but His will be done. Let's consider two scenarios. First, a child walking while holding his father's hand, and second, the father holding the child's hand. There is a big difference between the two. The child may escape from the father's hand at any moment. But if the father is holding his child's hand, complete safety is guaranteed because he will not let go of his child during any crisis. In the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna gives advice to Arjuna, reminding him that he is a king and cannot avoid fighting. Even without Krishna's presence, Arjuna would have been forced to fight. But with Krishna by his side, he can fight the war with more confidence. Despite having God's support, Arjuna still experienced sorrow and loss, but he was fortunate to have God as a close friend while fighting against all odds. This teaches us that believing in God does not shield us from hardship. We must face crises and difficulties, but with the knowledge that God is with us, we can find strength to overcome them. The story of Job from Bible and Quran tells us that even the most righteous and faithful believers can experience extreme sorrows and difficulties in life. Job was a wealthy man, blessed with a large family and many possessions. Satan challenged God that Job would turn away from him if his life became difficult. God allowed Satan to test Job's faithfulness by taking away everything he had. Despite losing all his wealth, having his children and relatives die, and suffering from painful sores all over his body, Job did not deny his belief in God. Job remained steadfast in his faith, and God eventually restored his fortunes. There are numerous similar stories in Hindu Puranas. These stories suggest that the journey to God is often easier from a place of hardship than from a place of wealth. This sentiment is also expressed in the Holy Quran. Allah tests humans in various ways, including through fear, famine, loss of money, loss of life, and loss of resources. Those who endure these trials with patience are rewarded with good news. There are 3 types of sorrows: those caused by our own actions, those caused by the actions of others, and those that are beyond our control, such as disasters, deaths, and diseases. The first 2 types of sorrows can be avoided if we make an effort, but the third type is beyond our control. In such cases, we must accept it as God's will. We can pray for the strength to accept this and say, "If this is what you want to happen in my life, that I should be sad and miserable, then let it be." By practicing this in small matters, we can apply it to larger issues as well. When things don't go our way, or when others act in ways that conflict with our wishes, we can remind ourselves that it is God's will that is being carried out. Surrendering everything to God's will is one of the easiest ways to achieve success in spiritual life. So, how can we deal with sorrows and difficulties in life as believers in God? First and foremost, we need to have faith in God and trust that everything that happens in our life is according to His will. We must accept the fact that sorrows and difficulties are a part of life and that they can come upon us at any time. But if we have faith in God, we can find the strength to face these challenges and come out of them stronger than before.